Feel the wrath of the sun. I love that line by Helios. I know it wasn't what was just said, but it comes up in the next when we're fighting the Chimera. So over here in this rooftop, we're dealing with some more Legionnaires up here, and these are the same guys we fought outside of the doors to Olympia, and they're very easy. You just need to parry at the moment before impact. And I was actually surprised to see that you get a checkpoint over here. The last time I did it in one take, and it was fairly smooth. So there are these enemies up here, and then when the Centaur comes out, he has a little legion or a squadron, I guess, of Legionnaires that are kind of like these guys, but they just do a different attack. They have an attack where they kind of do they brandish their swords over their heads, and then they hit the ground with their attacks, and it does like a triangular area damage attack that you have to parry at the very precise second. And I never really know when it is exactly, so I end up dodging mostly. But so the situation gets pretty frantic once that guy comes out, and I think that's why they give you a checkpoint. So you're going to see the guys that do the attack right over here. In fact, they do the animation. It doesn't hit you because it's a cutscene, but it's these guys right here. See, they brandish their swords and they do that ground attack. So I would recommend just trying to parry. So the main issue here is that we have the Centaur, who he's not that aggressive. Normally he will just stay on one side, and then he'll charge at infrequent times. But also we have Helios throwing those fireballs at us onto this rooftop. You see right there. I was only immune from that damage because I was in the middle of an animation. So we got those. We got those two issues, and then we have the Legionnaires, and then we have the other Legionnaires who do that other attack that we're just not used to. And I wasn't even used to seeing it when I originally did this guide earlier this year. So just roll away and just parry the attacks of the regular Legionnaires. And if you can get the timing right, go for parrying the other attack. You do have a checkpoint to fall back on, so it's not that you wouldn't lose that much progress by dying. Although I had to do this sequence quite a bit of times, and you notice I don't use magic whatsoever. I don't know why I do that. I think it makes the situation easier. And unless the situation is excruciatingly hard and I'm not good at it, I won't use magic that much. Sometimes just to speed things up, I'll just use magic, drop some magic, or to shield myself from incoming damage that I know I can't avoid. So it's just I don't know. It's so easy to overuse magic. It really is. But anyway, so once actually, I think there's quite a few more enemies left. So unfortunately, the other Legionnaires that do the other attack, they're not that aggressive. You see, he's going to do one there, and see, I did parry that one. That was but look at my health. Chaos mode is difficult because you just take a lot of hits, and you don't have much your hit point damage. It really gets dropped really fast. So try to fling that guy. I love flinging the guys off and throwing them off the roofs. It's just hilarious to me. Anyway, so so make your decision wisely here. I didn't have a decision because I already had enough magic, but I was in desperate need of health there. And what happens now once you go up this incline here is that you're going to have a couple of innocent bystanders. I think there's about half a dozen of these guys, and you make sure you want to kill these guys and get the health drops from them if you need health. I think a couple of times people were asking me in my other guide, they were saying, "Why are you killing those people?" And I don't know what I responded. It probably wasn't a sarcastic response, just because I don't like to be mean on YouTube or diss people. But why the hell do you think I'm killing them? It's part of the fun, and you get the +5 bonus kill, plus you get health. They're a source of health, so it's not like a morality choice. Not in my opinion. I don't think it matters, because in this game you just kill everything. That's the main fun of it. So this Chimera, you get a checkpoint over here, and this guy's tough. But if you've ever played Hades Kids 2, you have dealt with Chimeras. That trial is so fucking hard. It's crazy. I actually think that it's a little bit easier than Switchblade, but that Hades Kids 2, man, it really takes the cake. So the reason I am so familiar with this enemy is because I fought these guys hundreds of times on Hades Kids 2. So this first form, there's 3 forms. This first form, he's got a snake tail that spouts out venom, and it creates a pool of acid on the ground. So just look out for that. The move is telegraphed. The snake will do an animation that's indicating it's going to do that move, but it's really quick. So try to parry the attacks when he rams you, and then I think he's almost dead here. So yeah, we've got the quick time button, and the thing about these guys is that they cannot be killed by anything other than you tapping that circle button to do the quick time event. If they have the quick time button over their heads, you have to press circle and you have to do the quick time events. You could try to hit them with every single magic attack at your disposal, like every single ounce of that rage attack with the sword of Olympus, the blade of Olympus, my bad. But they'll never die, and that's just, you have to complete the quick time events, and and the reason I know that is because I struggled so many times on Hades Kids 2 trying to do it, and there's a time limit on that, as there is in a lot of the trials, and it always comes down to the wire, and the reason it does is because you have to keep doing these quick time button presses. So that was the second form of him, and I apologize if I was speaking over him, but mainly you just want to dodge his flame attacks as you dodge this guy's flame attacks, and just try to parry his 2 attacks with his arms, which are telegraphed well. So right now I'm dropping some magic just because this fight was taking a while. So just kind of jump over this guy. He's in the third form. They're very like when they're in their first and third forms. They're very they're wild. They go all over the place. They're hard to hit. And that's what makes that trial so difficult on Hades Kids too. So using your bow and arrow, it works pretty well. And that was a complete accident right there. Did not intend to do it. And look how much of my reserve of the rage of the, I can't remember what that damn thing's called. It's called something different in every game. Anyway, the quick time button right there for the O button is shorter than it is for the first phase when you're killing that first phase. So that's a little break, but it doesn't really matter until you're doing that trial. And when you're interacting here, you want to release like right when Helios is in your line of path. You don't have to commit to releasing the button when you pull back that lever. Just pull it back all the way, and then when he's almost coming in the line of sight, just do it. You can do it as many times as you want. So the Titan threw him over there, so we're gonna have to go get Helios and make sure you get some health. There is enough time to get it without getting destroyed by the Titan. And then we're gonna do some harpy agitation over here now to cross this this huge gulf in between these 2 buildings. So I kind of flew over to this harpy. I think the instructions for doing this is that you just press X until the next harpy gets highlighted, but you can also move the right analog stick to decide which harpy you want to go on. And sometimes I feel that works a little bit better than trying to rely on the computer to make the harpy get highlighted. See, it's even highlighting the enemies on the floor over here, so this really doesn't even make sense. Unless you were going to fly into them, which you never do. So yeah, nice. We toss that guy off, and over here we just have your standard undead legionnaires. These are not the guys that do the other attack on the ground. I think that might be the only time. I'm probably going to say something wrong, but I think that's the only time you ever fight those guys. I probably am wrong because this is a big game. It's a short campaign, but it's got a lot of areas of enemies in it. So I want to say that's the only time you fight those guys, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so destroy this guy, and I think there's some pottery over here to smash and things like that. Yeah, a couple loads of box, and this oil pot here is completely optional if you want to do this. So I actually was questioning, what this thing was for originally, and it's kind of simple what it's for. You're just supposed to, if you want to, that is, you're supposed to take it down this hallway and then push it down the next hallway and then ignite it with your with a flaming arrow and possibly try to burn up some of the enemies that are in the corridor. And it works pretty well if you get the timing right. So just So grab hold of the oil pot, and then when you grab it, don't like try to drag it down the floor too much. Just try to like drag it a bit and then kick it away from you. The spawn point happens like I think about midway down this hallway. So just kick it and then charge up your bow and arrow, and then when you see the enemies grouping around the oil pot, then destroy it. See, I got about several of the enemies. They're burning up. So that was optional, but it's just a nice little cool thing you can do. It's completely your choice if you want to do it. You don't have to. So I have 6,300 orbs, and the number of orbs you need to upgrade your blades to level 3 is 7,000. And it was in this area last time that I was able to do so. And here I'm not able to, since I obviously don't have that. I'm like 600 orbs short. The reason I think that I was upgrading last time is because I did the I went for the trophy where you try to get the 1,000 hit combo. So I think I got a lot of orbs trying to do that. So that was the difference between this run, and it won't even matter in the ultimate. I mean, in the long run, if I'm not going to be upgrading these blades up to level 3, as I suspect I might not be doing, simply because I don't know if I could tolerate the Athena's Wrath. Not one more time. Not on this playthrough. I just don't know if I can tolerate it. But even if you are upgrading every single weapon and accessory in your inventory, there's never any issue as long as you're getting all the treasure chests and you're smashing the majority of the these boxes and vases. There's never an issue of not having enough orbs, so don't worry about that. I've always had enough orbs to upgrade, and you end up with like thousands, even more. And if you're following my guide, I'm going to be showing you where they all are. So the reason I didn't get that health chest down there is because sometimes I just don't go for them because my health is already near enough to full. So here's an instance where you don't have a moral choice. You have to kill this guy. So, and then you drop down by pressing R1. I think I got the tooltip out of the way too fast because I did it too fast. But up here, this is where Helios crash landed, and now we're going to take him out. But first of all, he's got a little squadron of people to guard him. And the only way you can destroy these shield, and by the way, I hate these shield enemies so much. I hate the sound effect that it makes when you get hit. By the way, those shields can only be destroyed with the Nemean Cestises, or the Cestus, the fists, the iron fists that you acquire from the Hercules fight. So that is the only thing that can destroy those. The magic of the Cestus will destroy it too, but that's also the only thing. And so now we're going to have to use this Cyclops to destroy it, and it's kind of a good touch. Getting him to spawn is sometimes a little bit weird. I think you might have to approach the soldiers, the shielded soldiers. I'm not sure. He will come down eventually. I tried to on another take a long time ago. I tried to test this out and see how many Cyclopses I could get to spawn. And I think they let you have about 3 that spawn. If you want to get a lot of orbs, try to get the most bangs, orbs for your buck, I guess you'd call it. And I think they let me kill 2, and then the last guy, they wouldn't let him be killed or something. So it would have been a game-breaking glitch. But I don't think they let you kill Cyclopses indefinitely here. That's pretty much, I would risk my reputation on that. Okay, so also the reason he's trying to throw me off there is because I think I was delaying using the buttons too much, but it's no big issue. When you're on this thing, you can demolish almost everything. So the controls are it's really clunky when you're on this guy. I don't enjoy it whatsoever. There's a trial with involving one of these guys, and I don't enjoy that whatsoever. But you can't strangle your mount like the way you can in Castlevania Lords of Shadow. You kind of have to just wait for him to time out. You can only use him for a certain amount of time, and then they force you to do this sequence right here. And I'm not sure what happens if you fail the quick time event. You probably just would take damage or something. I don't know. You would. I mean, I would. I would probably assume you would take damage. But so once everything's gone, then you can. This treasure box appeared twice for me. It was here then, and then when I defeated Helios, I went back over there, and it was still there. So that was odd. And it was on the same life too. I mean, I didn't die. Okay, so this part, I had a lot of issues the first time I played this when I was playing on easy mode, unlocking this difficulty, just as when I was doing my speed run through this game to unlock it as quick as I could. I had a lot of issues trying to block out the sun when he's trying to blind you, and I didn't know if it was a brightness issue because I have the brightness on this game turned up all the way, and it's still not enough sometimes because this game is so dim in some areas. When you see me doing the activity where you're supposed to shield yourself from the sun, I go into the settings because it wasn't working, and I was actually glad that I kept the tutorials on because I didn't know which analog stick you were supposed to use last time. So it does say you're supposed to use the R analog stick, and there's no sensitivity settings on the settings, so you can't change how sensitive this is. But I was going into the options here to see if lowering the brightness would allow me to see my hand a little bit better, but it doesn't in the end, I don't think. So you see I turned the brightness almost all the way down, and still nothing happened. I mean, it's still the same issue where you can hardly see anything, but I think that's the intent because you are getting blinded by the embodiment of the sun, this guy, this physical embodiment of the sun, Helios. So just try to move your hand towards where you think he is, and then you should be safe. And the closer you get, the more secure you can be, and that you'll succeed. I did die many times, but last time, so I think it was just kind of a fluke. So this is not like the long, drawn-out death of Poseidon, but what was I doing here? I think I was putting the brightness back up, and I apologize for this. I was just trying out certain things. I wanted to discuss what was going on anyway. So, okay, so once you kill this guy, from here on out the game's going to be even darker than it already is in its brightness quality, because obviously the sun is going to be, that we destroyed the sun god, so there's not going to be any sun to light our paths anymore. It's going to be kind of it's not really dark, but it's just overcast a lot. So here he is, and it's a pretty quick decapitation here. Yeah, so now we have this. This is like a flashlight for all intents and purposes in the caves when we can't see anything. So yeah, I must have left this cutscene in. It might have been a shorter cutscene. Yeah, I was putting so much footage together that I forgot to edit this cutscene out. I apologize. I guess it was so short. That's probably why I didn't even bother to do it. Okay, so we have the head of Helios, and make sure you don't forget this item. This item is really easy to overlook, and if you go to the save point, I tried to backtrack over to this area, and this game is so linear that there's an invisible wall in the caves area. So if you forget that item, you can't go back and get it. It's really regrettable, the lack of flexibility here. So anyway, that's the end of this video.